worky work. Y'all get to watch me do some worky work. I have a really nasty ass headache today. The Some of it was sleep and a lot of it is the weather. So for those of you guys that have really nasty headaches, that is why. Ooh, Crystal, good morning. Thank you, Bodhi, for the kind words yesterday while reading my energy. I'm doing better, but still have to go in and have something. You'll find out on the 18th. Well, I am so glad that you saw your reading last night. Sometimes I hate when I'm doing a reading and I'm like, I need to reach out to her. Like, I don't like what I saw, like, because I don't ever want anybody to worry. But at the same time, if I see something like that, I want to be like, hey, we should talk. So I'll ask the girls to have, or Brett's right there, to have me remember to reach out to you, or you send me a message to the site, either one. I am just going to say this. When it comes to heart stuff, that's scary. I don't care who you are, how old you are. It's scary when it comes to heart issues. My ex mother-in-law has them really bad. And even though, we did not end that marriage on the greatest terms, her and I still worry about that because that's a scary thing. And I mean, I've had heart issues myself, and it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing. Oh, Brett. Okay, let me get you fixed. There we go. Now you're official on YouTube too. What? But I will say, and this is going to sound completely frou-frou and weird, and y'all take it. This is my opinion. It's not medical advice. It's just for entertainment purposes only. Classical music frequencies, lower level frequencies, like between 200 and 400, those helped me when I was going through that kind of shit, because they couldn't figure out oh my God, dude, I went to 3 cardiologists within 4 years. They couldn't figure out what was going on. So my sister and I both have this deformity in one of the valves in our heart, to where it doesn't close all the way and then it flutters like that. And it's the fucking weirdest feeling, because it feels like your heart stops and then it goes wham, wham, wham really hard. It hurts like a bitch. Like, I don't know how to explain that type of hurt. And it makes you almost instantly panic, because you feel like your whole heart just stopped. So instantly you get anxiety. It's the weirdest feeling. I've had it since I was a teenager. Like, it manifested with both my sister and I when we were teenagers. And so I don't like it. I don't like it. But because I'm diabetic and I didn't know for so long, and because I was in a relationship where I was constantly in fight or flight mode, that stress damages your heart muscle. And so it took 3 cardiologists, 4 years, to finally get to the cardiologist I have now, who I absolutely love. He's very straightforward. He's not a jerk. You know what I mean? He didn't dismiss anything. And what's really interesting is, I'm telling you this for reasons. I don't know why, but apparently someone needs to hear it. Don't you love how the universe works? So I had to get rushed to the emergency room. And this was in like 2014. No, 2013. I fibbed. 2013, before my mom passed away. I got rushed to the hospital because I was having that thing happen with my heart, right? And I just had constant chest pain. Like, nothing would help it. And so I go in, and my cardiologist, the one I had been seeing, who I really didn't care for, was on vacation. Oh no. So the cardiologist I have now is on call. And he came in. The very first time this man came in to see me, he was looking over my chart. He asked me 3 questions. That was it. He's like, I'm pretty sure I know exactly what's going on, but we have to do some tests first before I can diagnose you, because insurance is stupid. Cool beans. He knew exactly right then what it was. Coronary microvascular dysfunction. Like, I always have to think about it, because my brain wants to be like, it's dysfunctional. But It's where of some of the little tiny arteries in my heart, they're completely damaged, like beyond repair. And they're so small that they can't be stented. So the body finds a workaround. All of that to say, like, I went through the cool test, like the little Doppler radar on your heart where you can see the blood going back and forth. That's wicked cool, by the way. I could see where I could totally be like a radiologist because I want to see that shit. Seeing stuff inside the body fascinates me. But I don't want to learn anatomy. So I'm out. So I'm out on that. But I also, and some of you guys, I've talked about this before, and some people are like, absolutely not. I don't want to see that. But they gave me the option of being awake for a heart cath. And I was like, yeah. I get to see the inside of my own heart. Sign me up. If I got to do it, sign me up, right? So I had to go through all of these different things for him to be able to prove to the insurance that it was this thing that he knew in the beginning, right? The medicine that they put you on made me really sick. It did. It made me really sick. I lost gobs of hair. I was sick in my stomach all the time. It did get better after a while. It did get better, but it was hard. Like, it was really, really hard. And so I, being the frou-frou person I am, started looking at other things I could do holistically to help with that. Classical music, very slow paced classical music, like here, like this, helps. Classical music helps your brain in so many different ways. This is why the baby Mozart thing was a huge deal. It's why they play classical music during exams, like things like that. Classical music has different levels of frequencies in them, and they will help. But all of that to say, it's really fucking scary, especially when they can't figure things out. Do what you can to calm yourself and to breathe. That is when I found that technique of the 6 deep breaths. It's hot as a mojo up here. That's when I found that technique. And it's why I practice it on a daily basis. If I get stressed out, I'm sitting still and 6 deep breaths. I get upset, sitting still, 6 deep breaths. I get overly excited, bitch, sit still, 6 deep breaths. But professional athletes use that technique. All kinds of people use that technique, but it's as deep in and out as you can take 6 times in a row. It lowers your blood pressure. It puts more oxygen into your blood. And I promise that when you're having one of those episodes, it will help completely. It will help completely. Just that one thing. And it sounds frou-frou and it sounds whatever, but just that one thing. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Oh, I love that. I'm looking at everybody's comments about medical stuff and so on. Yeah, some of that stuff has been really, really wicked cool. I have gotten to see the inside of my left knee because they recorded it for me because I wanted to see it. And then I have actually got to see the inside of my heart while I was awake, which I think is really cool. I think is really cool. You know what I mean? I think is really cool. But we are going to do, I got to do something a little worky work first. And then I'm going to start reading, but it's been a morning. It's been a morning. What is up, Kami? Oh my God, how are you? I feel like I'm like seeing all of these friends I haven't got to see in a long time. So we're just going to do some talky talk while I'm doing worky work, because apparently we need to have multiple words for the same word. Multiple wordy words for the same wordy word. So I put out a video yesterday because Monday is the upcoming 7/7 portal. And I had somebody argue with me that it was 7/7/9 and all this other shit. But I don't want to argue with you. You're right. I'm wrong. Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. So Monday is 7/7, right? If you add 2 and 5 together, that is another 7. So it's 777. So every single month there is like 1 1, 2 2, 3 3. Every single month there is a portal. They're all for manifestation. They're all for manifestation. Let me just say that, okay? Any portal can be used for manifestation. However, every portal is also for something different, for something else. The 7-7 portal is for ancestors, ancestral trauma, all of those types of things. And I've mentioned this a few times before where I quit traveling for hire. Does that make sense? I quit doing astral travel for hire because sometimes I get frustrated since I've been doing this for a long period of time, like decades at this point. I get really, really frustrated when I see new brooms come in, and it's like the know-it-all complex. You know, when you're 18, 19, you know everything about the world, right? You know everything about the world. Your parents are dumb. They don't know jack. You know what I mean? And then when you hit like 25, you're like, maybe my parents were right about some of this shit, you know, like, but that phase, that really, it's like what, 16 to 20, 21, you know everything. Nobody is going to tell you shit, right? You know everything. And I feel like that happens a lot. Well, over the last couple of weeks, I was around more than a few people, and I've been seeing it online as well, where people talk about how they're this or they're this or they're this. First of all, stop putting yourself in a category. Stop putting yourself in a category. Because if you keep putting yourself in a category, whether it's, well, I'm a hedge witch, or I'm an astral traveler, or I'm, you know, a crystal witch or whatever. If you keep putting yourself in a box, then your mind is only going to think that you're in that box. I have a dog hair on my nose because I was doing doggy love fest this morning. Your brain is going to go, oh, well, you said that you were an herb witch, that you're a green witch. So that's all you are. So then when you get a new skill, gift, ability that pops up, your brain's going to go, but you said that you were only this. Stop putting yourself in a box, bitches. Stop it. I fight with this too. Okay, don't think I don't. Because I'm like, well, because when people say, well, what do you do? What do you practice? And I say, everything. It's not really everything, but it's easier to say everything than it is to like, here's a list. Okay? Say everything. Even if you're just starting your practice, say everything. If people want to put you in, are you a good witch or a bad witch? God, I hate that question. A whole other video. If people want to ask you those things, both is the answer. Both is the answer. If they want to ask you what you practice, everything. If your brain gets put in a box, it will try to stay in that box. Okay? But I get frustrated in seeing people that have never been trained in something in safety. Practitioners, if y'all are newer, or if y'all jumped right into a class with somebody and did not get the safety aspect of it first, stop, pause, step back, go back and learn basic protections. Go back and learn basic safety. Go back and learn basic offense. Offense is not necessarily hexing or things like that. Basic offense, okay? Like legit, just a big piece of sharp obsidian is a great defense and offense. Learn those things first, okay? I see so many people that are like, oh, I do this. But they don't. And they've never been trained in it. I understand the fake it till you make it aspect. However, there are things that are really, really dangerous when it comes to a lot of these more in-depth practices, such as astral travel. There's a reason that I will talk to somebody and train them personally versus teaching a class, because people want to astral travel for the wrong reasons. They want to astral travel for just bad stuff or whatever. And that is never going to end well for you. Like it's not. And I know that someone else out there that is very unscrupulous will happily teach you how to do it. They will. They will happily take your money and they will happily teach you how to do it, but they will not teach you the safety or anything like that. So I quit. I used to do a lot of astral traveling and petition work for other people. I grew up doing this. I was trained doing this by elders. Like, I grew up doing this. It runs in both sides of my family lineage. I grew up doing it. I'm very good at it. I quit doing it for people because I was watching all of these new brooms be like, and Misty, I'm totally stealing your word. I don't ever call people new brooms, but I love talking to you and hearing you say new brooms. And I'm like, that's better, because I really hate the term baby witch. I'm like, you're not a baby, though. You're not a baby. You're a powerful bitch. Like, you're not a baby. So anyway, thank you, Misty. Thanks, Misty. But I get so frustrated with seeing people that are like, I'm a shaman, and they don't even know what that means. They don't even know what that means. Do you guys know what the term shaman means? Shaman means spirit walker. And the term shaman is actually Siberian. You can Google all this. It's actually Siberian. Every single culture, every single practice has a shaman aspect in their spiritual practices. They call it something different. The Norse is, and I'm going to say it wrong, and please forgive me, it's a Vola, V-O-L-V-A, I think. The Celtic have one. Native American tribes, every single Native American tribe has a different term for it. Every South American tribe, like every single tribe. You know what? Let me go ahead and pause what I was saying, because what I was saying was important, but apparently I needed somebody to argue with me. Y'all don't do that shit. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing this a long time. And if you want to come in and argue, you can just move on along. I'm done with that at this point in my life. Every single different culture has a shaman in them, has that aspect of a spiritual practitioner in them. If you want to learn to do that, I highly, highly recommend learning to do that. I am very strongly considering starting shamanic courses back up in the fall, because I'm seeing the need for it, and because I'm seeing so many people that are about to get hurt in a really, really bad way. Really, really bad way. I heard some of the dumbest stuff come out of people's mouths at a couple of events, recent events, and all I could do was kind of like shake my head and walk away, because it made brain hurt melt bad. I was like, you're gonna get hurt so bad. But with that, and with whatever the hell the dreams were, the astral travel crap was last night, holy cow. With this 7/7 portal coming up, I've decided that on Sunday night, going into the 7/7 portal, I am going to do some traveling for hire. So that's all of that 15-minute long to say that I'm going to put that up on my website right now. I'm only going to do a very limited amount, because they do wear me out. It takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of ingredients. It takes a lot of time to travel correctly. It's easy to travel, especially if you are somebody that astral travel comes easy to you. It's hard, however, to actually go to the right place, speak to the right beings, and take the petitions and get the answers back here. Does that make sense? So I'm just saying. I kind of know when you've been astral, you're always thirsty and coming back. That is a big, big one right there. Yes. I love that you said that, Kendra. Yes, everybody has a telltale sign of when they've been traveling, and thirst is a huge one. I have 4 drinks this morning. Usually I have 2, but I have 4 this morning because of that. Like, I've already chugged a thing of water. In fact, I was like, where's my pop? Yeah, that is a big one. Hunger and thirst are big ones. A drink goblin. You drink, stop it. God. You are so funny. All right. So I'm going to set this up on the website while I'm thinking about it. I had meant to do it last night. When I got off my live, y'all, I went downstairs and was like, face plant. Face plant. This is a pretty song. It's like pink and purple. What is this? I can't pronounce that. Scintillant. Scintillant? That's gorgeous. Me likey. Yeah, it's like pink and purple. I like it. All right. I think 11 is a good number. So there's only going to be 11 tickets available for Sunday. So when I do these, I will be live for a little bit doing some travel. But what will happen is I will do some travel. I will deliver the petitions. And then the way that I was taught to do them, you deliver the petition and then you go back. So like I'll do live, I'll travel a little bit live and deliver the petitions. But everything will be recorded. When I go back, that will be recorded as well. And that will be a private YouTube stream. So you will get the link to it after I am done. And then you will also, have a timestamp, and that way you can get the answers that you need. Because if I am only traveling for 11 people, not everybody needs to see your answers. Not everybody needs to see what your ancestors have said, or what they need you to do, etc. It's nobody else's business. And so only those 11 people that get a ticket will get access to that second stream. And here's the thing for those people that are part of those 11 peoples. That is like a pact between those 11 of you. You're going to hear other people's answers. Vlad, get out. And they're going to hear yours. So that makes you guys kind of a little group where your ancestors can communicate. Vlad, get out. He is up there in a box and he's pissing me off. Dude, get off the box. You hear him clawing it? Vlad, I'm telling everybody that you're being a bad kitty. I am. They can hear you. They know. They know you're not the great little Vladimus Padamus kitty anymore. They can hear you. They can hear you, Holmes. He loves the plastic in there, and it's pissing me off. All right, those tickets are up because there's a lot involved with this. They're $77 because it's going to take me several hours each to do these. There's only 11 tickets, just so you know. There's only 11 tickets. I will be traveling more. But I'm just letting you guys know there are only 11 tickets for this. All right, so now we will continue on the readings. You guys ready? You guys ready? What's up, Grimmy? Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, Miss Misty. There's Lando. Imagine that. You're on my list. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 from my list from the 18th, and you're on there. How are you? The answer is always yes. Somebody watches my live streams too much. The answer is always yes. That's funny. That's funny. Exactly, love. He ran off. You just got blocked on mine? I don't know why. Can you have an example of a petition to ask ancestors? Yes. Okay. So with this particular portal, an ancestral petition can be something like, and I'm going to use a very extreme example, and then I'll use a very small example, okay? Let's say that everyone in your family has passed early, like under 60, okay? Maybe in their 40s, and you're coming up on your 40s. So you're nervous, you're stressed about it, right? Asking the ancestors in a petition would be like, is there a generational curse? Is there a family curse? Is there something I can do to stop this? What can I do to stop this? Who put it on? How can I reverse it? What can I do to make sure it doesn't go to my children? Like things like that. That's a big one. You can also ask about ancestral trauma. You can also ask about, what's up, Kirby? Yes, in fact, that's almost exactly what I just put in there, not meaning to talk about you, Kirby, but you can also ask things about ancestral karma, which is completely different than an ancestral curse. Okay, let me say that. Karma and a curse are different. A curse is something that someone put on your family. Does that make sense? Karma, maybe you had one ancestor that was a complete jerk bag and built up a lot of karma, and it's still rolling downhill. Ancestors can also help you with problems you're having right now. They can also help to clear things out. If you're having a lot of BS, if you're having a lot of health issues, a lot of monetary issues, like things like that, ancestors can help you with anything. But I want to make this statement, and I say this all the time, and inevitably somebody tries to argue with me, but I want you to think about this. Not every ancestor that you have and not every spirit guide that you have are there in your highest good. Let that sink in a minute. Do you really believe that every single ancestor you have in your lineage was a good person? If you do, then you need to go sit and think. You need to go sit and think. I know that I have very shitty people in my ancestry. I do. I know that I have people that fled very shitty people. We all have that. We all have that. And you need to know that there are people in your ancestry that are not going to agree with how you live your life right now, because they can't get past the time shift, the time difference, right? Maybe they existed 400 years ago. They were in a meat sack 400 years ago. And here you are now in the 2020s, and they don't agree with what you're doing. If you had an ancestor that actively sought out witches for witch trials, in no way are they going to be ready to help you. However, there always are going to be ancestors in your path that are willing to help you, want to help you, etc. Just so you know. So know that that's a thing. The other thing too that I want to tell people, I think you see him, is that not every ancestor is going to be right there ready to talk and chat. It's just like with mediumship. There are some people that they're not ready yet. They're still mad that they feel like they got cheated and they aren't in their meat sack anymore. There are some people that they've already accepted another assignment and they're busy at work with that. It's not that they can't come visit you, but they may not be right there. So the person that comes through to pick up the petition for you in your ancestral line may not be somebody that you've ever met in life. That I have found that with mine, and there are going to be some that you don't want to talk to. For example, my biological father, I hated him in real life and I dislike him now. I don't want to talk to you. I personally, the Mandy person that's in there, I still hold that grudge. I'm getting better and I'm getting past it. But there are things that I am not sure I can forgive yet. I don't want to talk to you. You took off when I was a kid, and mind-altering substances in Las Vegas were more important than me. That hurts, and I don't want to talk to you. Every one of you is going to have an ancestor like that you don't want to talk to yet. Do you see what I'm saying? So there may be an ancestor that steps through. He has stepped through a lot. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. I don't want your help. I will handle it on my own. Every one of you is going to have an ancestor like that. Does that make sense? So know that not every ancestor is working in your highest good. Not every ancestor is someone you're going to want to talk to. I'm just saying. Every single one of us has somebody in our family line that we're like, that person right there was a piece of trash bag. And you don't want to talk to them. So know that that's a thing too, but they can still pop up and offer to help. So if they do, and I have learned to know like how people that have a kind of sordid relationship with somebody I'm doing petition work for, they look different. They glow different to me. So usually I'll say, hey, this person doesn't glow the same as everybody else. So you need to think about if you really want to talk to that person. Okay. If you know who they are, should you let me know in the order? Absolutely. Yes. If you like, for me personally, if I'm like, hey, if there is a very large man with a black mustache, black hair and glasses that comes through, he's not allowed to know anything about me and he's not allowed to help. So if you have someone like that, yes, please absolutely put it in the petition. Please. Because they sometimes will try to skirt through. If they can't get to you, if you have blocked them, they'll sometimes try to skirt and use somebody else. But I see the game, man. You know what I mean? Like, I see the game. I see you've been doing this way too long. Like, I've learned. I see you. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. So if there is somebody ancestrally that you don't want to help you, put it in the petition. Put it in the order. Like and describe them for me. Like I just said, large man, black hair, black mustache, glasses. Bet that's pretty easy. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. Let me know who they are. Just a short description. I made it a long description in the checkout ticket, so you have a pretty good amount of room. So you got it, Tosh. You got it. One thing I found too is that if I know in advance that you don't want to talk to somebody, they usually will not come through. They won't try. They won't try. They might every now and then, but they usually won't try because they're like, oh, well, shit, you know, like that's a, if that makes sense. If that makes sense. If you didn't see that part, let me see, Bobby, hang on. It should have made you fill it out when you checked out. Let me look. I like this one too. I like this one, the patterns bounce. So the piano is red, the things underneath it are purple, but there are yellow bounces in it. Here, I'm gonna turn it up. Close your eyes and see if you hear it. Or see if you can imagine. You close your eyes and I'm gonna tell you what the synesthesia sees. Ready? Oh my God. And I'm gonna have to show you the thing for this. Oh, hang on. We're gonna rewind because that was beautiful. That one is in a thing called In Void. La obscurite vient. Okay, so you hear the pianos? So you hear the piano? To me, that's red. But you hear the other things underneath? The deeper tones, those are purple. There's the yellow. This one's like a carnival. Even though it's a darker piece, it's like a carnival. Well, I'm gonna have to paint this one. I'm gonna have to put together a list of classical pieces that I love. Sometimes they catch my eye. Do you see what I mean? It sounds like a carnival. Yes, like a jewelry box. Yes, yes. I love it. Oh, my hair is standing up. So this is the soundtrack or the album is called In Void, INVOID, 2 words. And it is, I can't pronounce it. I tried to a while ago. This might be one of my favorite new albums. I like it a lot. The one right before it was too. I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put together, y'all, a thing of classical, dark classical music. All right. We're getting we're getting off track. Okay, let me look, Bobby. Let me look. Otherwise, we're gonna sit here and play in classical music today. Let me look. Because if you purchased the wrong one, yes, you did. You got a portal reading. So do you want the other one instead? If you do, then I can refund you for that one. I don't know how quickly it'll go back. I'll tell you what, Bobby, shoot a message to the site with what you need in your petition. And then, I can just, are you serious, Morgan? Shoot me a message, Bobby. I got you. Okay. I'll add you in. I got you. Shoot me a message. We'll figure it out. Are you serious? Did you guys really already sell that out? Stop with yourselves. Stop it. I don't know if I can add any more. I can probably do a couple more. I can probably do just a couple more and that's it. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Don't listen to me. My brain hurts today. My brain hurts today. Okay. I added 4 more and that's it. I can't do any more than that. That's going to wear me out. I added 4 more and that's it. I will do travelings again. I am fixing to sit down over the next couple days and get my entire schedule planned out for the month. But yeah. But like I said, Bobby, send a message. I got you. If you forgot to add something in your petition, send a message to the site and I'll get you. Okay. Y'all don't know it, but I'm back on my bullshit. Like, I was in the messages yesterday and I felt bad because I saw Scarly typing too. And then I was like, oh. If you remember your dreams, does that mean that you travel? No, not necessarily. There are some certain hallmarks. I should do a video about how to tell if you're traveling versus just dreaming. So yeah. Yeah. I love dark classical music. I have some playlists on Pandora. I am old school. I love my Pandora. I've had it since 2012. It's like my friend. I don't want to get rid of it. But I have, in fact, if you just go in Pandora or in Spotify or anything and type in dark classical radio, you're going to get stuff like this. And I'm not going to lie, the tones in the more darker classical pieces will calm your brain down. They will. They're more sharps than flats. So they're more of that lower frequency tones. Does that make sense? To me, they look like this, like they actually have a curve to them. But they're not going to be as, like, I love Vivaldi and Chopin and things like that are real fast and awesome when my brain needs a boost. But they're not those hardcore pings. I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, if you go in anything and put dark classical music, dark classical radio, dark classical pieces, even in YouTube, you're going to find some. You're going to find some. So yeah, I love Vivaldi. I love Vivaldi. For those of you guys, here's how I can tell if you are a super neurospicy. If you love people like Vivaldi, Chopin's another one. There are some Beethoven that are very spicy, but they're not a lot of flats. If you love music that has flats and sharps in it, you are a neurospicy person. You are a neurospicy person because your brain almost tunes out the regular notes, if that makes sense. It almost tunes it out. I'm trying to remember who... I did a painting of one. I've got it downstairs and I will never sell it. I've had people offer. I will never sell it, but it's going to drive me nuts of who. I'll remember it randomly here in a little bit. I love classical music. I love it when I'm working. The tones and the frequencies in old school classical music help your brain to focus. That's why people that are neurospicy work really well with classical music in the background. Just saying. All right. Focus, bitch. I've got some readings to do. I've got to get off here about 1. So that gives me 3 hours. So let's get on it. Yeah, let's get on it. Boot camp will start back up this month. Yes, there are gothic ones. There are gothic ones. 100%. But dark classical music, you'll pull a lot of those aspects. Yeah. It is like a musical weighted blanket, Kathleen. That's a fantastic way to put it because it helps your brain kind of like, I'm going to say it this way on purpose, deflate so you can focus. Does that make sense? Yeah, as long as somebody has given you permission to purchase an energy read or whatever, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is it too late to get into boot camp? I have to do a whole other thing for it, so no, it's not too late. So no, it's not too late. I will talk about it Monday on the live. So yeah, it's not too late. And you're gonna get boot camp from the church. You're going to get boot camp from the church. So y'all are going to get to know and see how to ward and protect a building from scratch. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right. Focus, bitch. Focus, bitch. Where my brain is today. I missed you guys. Now I want to just sit and talk. And I'm like, you have to work. The boss is going to come around and whack you. I missed you guys. All right. Sherry M. So here's who I have to finish up from the 18th. Sherry M, Katie, Orlando, and Skylar. I don't know why. I always feel like I need to make a big production out of your name, Lando. I'm just saying. I don't know why. I love you right back. Are you home from the hospital? Your drama. I mean, you said it, man. You said it. I don't know what to say about that, but. You're welcome. You're welcome, Tabitha. Yes, that's Lando. Yeah. Oh, I love that you're home. I hate that you can't go back to work till August, but I love that you're home. I hate being in the hospital. I hate it so much. It drives me up the wall. It drives me up the wall. I sleep better in my bed. You know what I mean? All right, all right, all right. Sherry, 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 Sherry. Sherry is green and purple and yellow like Mardi Gras colors. The green hit me first, Sherry. It's like this gorgeous deep emerald. It's not a bright emerald. It's a deep emerald color. And it's the biggest one. It tells me that I would not be surprised if you've been really sick. And when I say really sick, it feels like it's like choppy sick. Like you get COVID, you get the flu, you get a cold. Like it's just like every time you feel like you're feeling better, you get sick again. And so you're analyzing a lot of things in your life of why do I keep getting sick? Why, who was I around? What's going on? So it's like this kind of interesting figure 8 in that you get sick and then you try to figure out why you're always getting sick. And so you're doing everything you can to analyze why you're getting sick, such as like herbs, medications, who you're around, where you're going, what spiritual things you're doing. Like you're analyzing all of this. And then about the time you think you get it figured out, you're sick again. I'm just going to say this, Sherry, you're not alone with that. A lot of people I know in the spiritual community have been getting sick a lot. Like I used to not ever get sick. I would get the flu every other year. And I feel like I'm sick all the fucking time now. Knock on wood, I'm not right now. But I feel like I've gotten sick more in the last 3 years than anything. And it pisses me off. So you're not alone, Sherry, and I don't know if you can see the comments or whatever, but thanks, Ruth. The boof be boofing today. I had to calm it down because it was up here. I was like, bitch, this is not the 90s. Calm your hair down. There's a lot of people in the comments, Sherry, that are saying that they agree. Like, yes, I've been sick a lot. Yes, I've been sick a lot. But yours is like you're trying to figure it out and back and forth and so on. The purple is this is a royal purple. So it's a very interesting, very spiritually connected color. It's also one of, I would not be surprised if your lineage, if you are an ancestral practitioner or an ancestral witch, because the way that purple is heavy on the bottom down here tells me there's a lot of ties with that. But the bright purple aspect up here, I'm betting that within all of this sick crap that's been going on with you, you've had new gifts and abilities pop out like this. And I'm here for it. Play with them. Play with them. Learn how to use them. The only way y'all are going to learn how to use these gifts and abilities is to use the gifts and abilities. That's the only way you're going to be able to master them, is to utilize them. Okay? Does that make sense? The yellow underneath is this, it started off as just a little thing and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. So this yellow usually represents like communication and happiness and intelligence and so on. And I'm not saying that it doesn't with you, but this is an idea that's taking shape because I watched it do this and then it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and it starts to span the entire length of that purple. Don't tell anybody about this idea. I feel like this idea needs to cook and bake until it's like golden brown perfection. And then boom, bitches, here it is. Because if there's one thing I have learned in the last 5 years on TikTok and social media is that bitches be bitches and they will steal an idea in a heartbeat, including knowing that they know that it's going to flop. They will steal your idea to be the first person to do it. And it's absolutely stupid BS. What? You were in my box again. I'm not happy about it. Why you keep doing that? You can't come up here. You can't come up here. You aren't being a nice kitty today. And you're still naked. Did the kid take your clothes off again? Boy. I love him. I really wanted to have little Vlad kitties. But I'm going to end up having to get him fixed. But I want to have little Vlad kitties first. So I need somebody to message me that has a girl kitty that lives close. Because he's a really cool cat. And I want to have Vlad kitties. But I don't want another cat. Monsieur Vlad the Impaler is a solid black cat with a tiny tuft of white right here. He has 6 toes on each foot, including opposable thumbs. He is a very mouthy cat with green and gold eyes. He would make absolutely beautiful baby children's. See, look, everybody's like, hey, you know. For, oh, he took off. For the family that he came from, like, he's his own uncle and grandpa, I think, but he's actually a very intelligent cat. He just sprays a lot and I can't handle it. So we're about to do that. You know what I mean? Just saying. All right. Sherry, don't tell anybody about that idea. They don't need to know. They don't need to know. Okay? Absolutely not. They don't need to know because they will 100% steal this idea. So don't do it. I hate that you're dealing with the health issues, but I love that the analytical part of you is pulling in everything so that way you can figure out how to take care of this stuff. And I will say this, yesterday, I wasn't sure that I was going to reopen the apothecary part. I mean, I am and I'm not. Does that make sense? Like, it was going to be a while. But I woke up yesterday knowing that needed to be a thing ASAP. So, you hear him down there? So it's going to be a thing. It has to be a thing. Anyway. I feel like there's too much stuff going on with healthcare crap that people need it. You know what I mean? That people need it. It is what it is. I adore chai tea. In case y'all didn't know. It's my favorite thing. Nom, 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 nom. So Vlad likes his own voice. He is an Aries. He likes his own voice. And there's a part in the hallway downstairs where it's like, it doesn't just end like a normal hallway. It has this weird little alcove, almost a curve, and it echoes in there. So he goes down there and goes, wow! And it echoes, and it's the funniest thing. It is the funniest thing. You know what? I'm going to do Lando real quick because you're right here. I'm going to do Lando and then Skylar because y'all are energy reads. And then I'm going to do Katie because that's a card read. So. All right. Lando, you ready? I didn't think you would argue. I didn't think you would argue. Oh, you got yourself pulled into a little tiny ball over there. So it took me a second because all of your energy in this is in this little tiny, I mean, like little bitty tiny baseball size ball. Here's the first thing I'm going to recommend because your energy is all blue, like a really deep, kind of like this color blue, gray, like a medium gray and white. So like the gray is on the outside, like the ball itself is gray. And then you have this part, it's not quite a yin yang, but you have this part that's blue up here and a part that's blue down here, and the white runs to the middle. Here's what I'm going to recommend first. I understand 100% the need for that cap on it, the need for the protections, but you're going to have to open that up, because if you don't, it's going to continue to have your energy be like this size, and it is going to take you longer to heal. Y'all, energy is, you are made of energy. I know that like you can feel, I can feel my hair, I can feel my arm, my skin, like when I squeeze it, I can feel the bone in there, right? But in between all of that, holding every cell, every molecule together is energy. The way that you treat your energy will affect your meat sac. And when we're sick, we tend to pull everything in because we're trying to heal, and it's much easier to deal with something this size than this size, right? So I'm not saying like open it all up, Lando, and like just let it all out, but I am at the same time. It needs to be like just slowly, okay? But if you keep it in this little baseball size ball, it is going to take you longer to heal. I am going to recommend during the day, if you can, while you're awake and doing things, listen to the solfeggio frequencies, just those, you know, those 8-9 frequencies. Find a playlist and let them rotate, as you know, like once a day or so. While you're sleeping, however, I would listen to like 1111 or like one of 1111, 2222, or 3333 on YouTube. Just one of those three. Don't go any higher than that. But listen to some of those. If you find that those are giving you a headache, then go completely down to the other side and listen to like 11 or 8. You know what I mean? Like right along with those. Those will help you tremendously. Classical music does have a lot of those in it as well. But that will help that to kind of do this. It'll help that ball to kind of open up a little bit. So that way your physical self can heal faster. The gray, let's talk about that, because that is all around the outside, and it's about that wide. It's just a regular gray, like medium gray. That is neutrality. That's what that color represents. Neutrality, like completely neutral. It's directly in the middle of black and white. It is completely neutral. So you're trying to, take a deep breath. I was like, bitch, you weren't breathing. That is you trying to be very neutral in yourself, in your energy, in the world around you. Like that is you trying to be very, very neutral. I don't think you need to change that right now. I think that you 100% need to keep that gray around the outside. Even as you kind of let your energy get bigger, I think you need to stay very, very neutral, because when you're in a neutral mindset, when your energy is in a neutral space, it's much easier for things to flow and happen because it's balanced. Does that make sense? Whereas if it was just white or just black, it's going to lean toward those energies. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining it gooder. I hope I'm explaining it gooder. The really gorgeous blue that you have 2 big pieces of it. That is 100% a protective color, because like I said, it's really dark. It's about this color, but maybe a little more bright, a little more metallic. That tells me that you really feel like you almost weren't here anymore. And so you're being uber super protective of everything. And now I'm really, really glad that I sent you that. So you are on high alert. You are, I don't want to say paranoid, but paranoid about any little thing that happens. So every little thing is a sign to you. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be. I don't think that anybody is specifically sending stuff your way, but with the experience you just had, I would bet my left bottom part of my booty cheek that during some of those times when you were asleep, whether it was, them giving you medication so you can sleep or whatever, I would bet that you saw some things. And I would bet that you spoke to some ancestors. I would bet that you spoke to some people and so on. and you are in full on protective mode of yourself spiritually, on top of mentally, emotionally, and so on, because that was a hard thing that you just went through. Let me tilt you guys down. There we go. That was a hard thing that you just went through. I am not going to tell you to change that color either. I'm not. I think that right now, with you being as knocked down as you are, you need all the protection you can get. The white is very interesting, because the fact that there's blue and white surrounded by that gray, did you actually like have an NDE? Did you actually have an NDE when you were in the hospital? Because I really kind of feel like you did. Because that white in there is like a pearl color. It's not a normal white color, which tells me that you're processing things that you saw. Yes, things that you saw, things that you felt. I'm going to say it that way. Because when you have an NDE, normal senses are combined. So you might see something. I don't know how else to explain it, but like that. Things are different. So having that pearl white color tells me that you're still processing all of that. It's going to take you a long time to process that. People that have had an NDE, it takes them a long time to process through those things. So don't push yourself, but don't forget it either. Does that make sense? Like, process, write it all down that you can remember, and process. One of the things that I have found about NDEs is this. Some people instantly come back with a gift, and some people, it takes years for that gift to fully manifest. Sometimes it takes years for you to actually talk about what you saw, because you can't words it correctly. You don't know exactly how to words it. And then also having someone that will listen. I feel like now society, with all the research that has been done on NDEs, I feel like there are a lot more people that are wanting to study it and learn and so on. But write all of it down. Write all of it down. For those of you guys that have never had an NDE, first of all, don't go looking for one. Okay, don't go looking for one, because it's not as great as you think it is. If you think about a time in your life that was super uber important, like a wedding, the birth of a child, when you graduated high school, graduated college, like some moment in time that was a huge thing for you, that moment is seared in your brain, right? So let's say, like, when you had the birth of a child, you remember exactly the first sound of the baby cry. You remember the weight of feeling them against you. You remember the smell, that new baby smell. Like, you remember all of these things super vividly, right? When you have an NDE, what you experience is beyond vivid. If you just barely think about it, you're there. You're there. You feel the emotions. You feel anything you touch. You smell things. You see the layers of colors, etc. An NDE is seared in your brain in a way that you can't explain to anyone else unless they've had one. Write it down, Lando. Write yourself like a journal, a log, something of it. If you can write it on your phone, where you can make sure that you can change words and fix words, that's usually even better. But write it down, write your experience down. It will help you to process through it. And while you're healing, that is the perfect time to try to process through it, if that makes sense. I am, again, going to recommend that you kind of expand your energy a little bit, because that's going to help you heal faster. But I am not going to say that you need to change any of those colors. That blue is very protective, and that gray is very neutral, and it's going to allow you to let energy flow back and forth. Let all of the sickness flow out and let all of the good things flow in. Does that make sense? So let it just be like a 2-lane highway. Let it go however it needs to go. But open it from a 2-lane to like a 4-lane. Okay? I hope, does that make sense? Does that make sense? So some people are confused with what an NDE is. An NDE is a near-death experience. It is not an ego death. Those are two separate things. An NDE is when your body, your body, actually passes. They have to bring you back. That is an NDE. There's a reason it is called near passing experience. I gotta be careful how many times I say that because it'll get flagged. So for me, I had meningitis, and my heart actually stopped. I was 19. My heart actually stopped in the middle of a spinal tap. So they had to bring me back. They had to stop doing what they were doing and bring me back. About 3 days later, 2 days later, I also had a second one in the ICU. My heart actually stopped. They had to bring me back. In fact, I was told that my dad and I were talking about yesterday that it was very rough. That second one was very, very rough. You think it happened in surgery, but they didn't tell you. That's usually a lot. If you go in with something really bad like that, if you're really bad sick, yes, you can totally have one. Ego death is completely different. That usually happens with psychedelics, to be honest. When you have a moment where you have to face that you are going to pass away. You can have an ego death with an NDE, but usually ego deaths happen with psychedelics. And your brain will fight tooth and nail until you finally just give in and you're like, you know what? If it happens right now, I'm okay with that. You know, like my kids will be okay. My animals will be okay. You know what I mean? Like you have that kind of thing like that. I'm not going to lie. I've had both, and the ego is so much harder than the NDE. The ego is so much harder mentally than the NDE. I'm not going to lie. The NDE just happens. Like it just happens. You're really sick. You're really hurt. Like something happens. And in the moment, you don't feel anything. So for those of you guys that are afraid of passing away, we're more afraid of leaving our stuff here. I like stuff. I like my peoples. I like my animals. So I'm afraid of leaving those things. I am not afraid of passing at all. You don't feel shit. You don't feel jack. Because in the moment, everything is fine. I don't know how else to explain it except for that. Everything is fine. And it's very peaceful. And a lot of times you're watching from up here. An out-of-body experience. It doesn't hurt at all. And a lot of times your brain doesn't even realize. Your brain realizes but doesn't. Unlike an ego, because that one, your brain will fight tooth and nail. Your brain will fight tooth and nail. That one sucks. That one sucks. I don't like it. It sucks. That one sucks. It's really, really hard. But you do not come back the same person. And I probably need to do a video about it because I've heard somebody talk about having an NDE when what they were describing was an ego. It wasn't an NDE. An NDE is a physical meat sack flatlining. Completely different than an ego. So I probably need to do a video because there's a huge difference. In my personal opinion, the ego 100% harder than the NDE. Even though physically the NDE sucks. Dude, the brain is mean. The brain is mean. So, yeah, the brain is mean. So, did that make sense, Lando? Good. Expand that bubble a little bit, but don't take down those protections you've got, okay? All right. Skylar. I'm going to do Skylar, and then I've got Katie's card read. It is going to be a hard road, but this is a good time to work on your own energy, and that will help you. I know that people are like, oh, you're just frou-frou, blah, 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 blah. But if you can learn to master your own energy, you'll heal like that. You will. Just saying. All right, Skylar. Ooh, Skylar's like blue, green, white, pink. Skylar's like this gorgeous, at first it was a dark blue and then it turned to a light blue. So what I find interesting about that is it shifted to allow me to see the rest of them. So Skylar, I would say that you are naturally good at protections. You're naturally good at energy work, because that first blue that hit me, that was a do not enter kind of blue. That was a solid protection kind of blue. And then it was like, oh, okay. You know, like, let me change a little bit. The sky blue tells me that you are 100% a protector of other people. You really protect your family, your friends, like anybody that you care about, your space, your house, your home, your pets. Like you are a protector. You are 100% a protector. 100% a protector. The green also tells me, dude, if you are not taking energy work classes, you need to. Energy healing, any kind of healing modalities, you need to. Because having the green right under it, the green under it is like, I mean, what you think of when you just say the color green. Not emerald, not grass, it's just green. You are a natural healer. You are 100% a natural healer. You have this uncanny ability to know what's wrong with someone like this. So I would bet that there's been a lot of times, even when you were a kid, that someone got sick and you were like, I think it's this. And everybody was like, it's not that, blah, 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 it's this. But then it was that. Like, you were right. I would 100% bet that you knew exactly. The white is the biggest part of it. Your soul is here to learn. You cannot get enough of learning about the world. I think that school is hard for you because of, it's not always stuff you want to learn about. But the world and learning, like if you want to take a class on whatever that interests you, that's different. But being forced to learn stuff in school, I would bet that school was a struggle for you. I would bet that science, that space, the things like that were your favorite things. So I would recommend diving down the rabbit hole of things that you are so interested in. Even if you're going to college or in school right now and you have to learn certain things that you don't want to learn, sprinkle in a class every semester that is something you absolutely love, or a little side class, a certification or something like that. Your soul is one that craves knowledge and craves learning, and it's never going to stop. It is never going to stop. You are always, always, always going to want to learn things. You're going to end up being a Bodhi with like 120 certifications. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So I'm just saying. Thank you for that gift, Wheezy. The pink underneath. Let's talk about that. You hide that. You hide that. And to be honest, with seeing all of these other things, I think that that is exactly what needs to happen. That pink needs to stay kind of hidden down there, because it's a beautiful, like, baby pink color, which means you're a peacekeeper. So you need to learn your own protections. You need to learn how to say no. And you need to learn that not everybody has access to that part of you. I think that unfortunately you've already started to learn that people will take advantage of that. And that's why that pink is down there at the very bottom. But being a healer, being an energy worker, you can't allow the pink to be in the forefront, because people will 100% take advantage of that. So keep that peacemaker aspect down here. I hate to say that, because the world needs more pink people, but the world also needs healers really, really badly. And you are a natural, very talented healer, Skylar. So start learning some things and some shit. Start learning some things. There's YouTube. That was fun. That was fantastic. That's some bullshit. You got it, Lando. All right. That one. What the? Okay, we're just going to do this. Apparently you didn't need my other card deck. No, you do. You need one right in the middle. Okay. All right. Since you asked about a few different things, I don't know if you go by Katie or Danny. So I'm sorry. Because it says Katie Danny. You asked about 3 different things. Career, future, mother wound. So let's see what these hold. So the first card that you pulled out here is the Morrigan, which is introspection, opposition, and words. It's not anticipation. Antipathy. I get caught on TikTok watching the people whose words don't work either, and I'm like, oh, I feel right at home. Words not working. But then over that, you have this one, which is the Leper King, and it is bravery and self-discipline and faith. Okay. So the only way I can put this is like you feel like you're on a righteous quest for yourself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. You are on a righteous quest for you, for Katie. There is an undercurrent of revenge with that. The Morrigan is a revenge deity. There's an undercurrent of opposition. So as you are walking down this path to be able to be who Katie needs to be, you have this self-discipline and this bravery that you are trudging through places that nobody around you has walked before, and you don't have any tools with you to cut through that jungle. Actually, I don't feel like it's a jungle. I feel like it's this crazy brush with thorns all in it. You're trying to walk through that. My recommendation is, girl, go get a machete. Girl, go get a machete. Walking through things like that are hard and amazing at the same time, if that makes sense. You have to have a tool to cut through that stuff. And I'm going to tell you guys the easiest way to get this tool, because a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying for Katie. Walking through these thorns and walking through the pain and all of that people have done to you in your life, all the trauma. The machete that I'm talking about that you need is protections. And this is not doing protections for other people. This is protections for you. This is learning how to take your energy and make it into like an ironclad shell around you. I have been working with my own energy for probably about 28 years at this point. I can sit in a crowd of people. Thank you, Finn. I can sit in a crowd of people, and I've shown people I can do this because it takes a lot of energy, but I've shown people I can do this. I can sit in a crowd of people and I can push my energy out and I can put spikes on it and people will literally move away from me. It takes a lot of energy to do that, but people will move away from me. That is what you need. It's harder to push people, easier to push what you're working through, issues, traumas. It's easier to push those away. That is what I mean when I say you need a machete, you need a weapon, okay? Because that will help you to go through further and heal faster, if that makes sense. So I understand where you are. I really do. I understand where you are. Then you have Thanatos, which is completion, support, and expediency. The card I drew in the middle is resilience, because of course it is. And then you have the Martyr card, which is shame, honesty, and restitution. And then you have Lilith, which is hunger, animism, and instinct. Okay. Part of me wants to advise you to be careful in diving down some of this energy healing too far, too much, but I'm not going to, and here's why. And I know some of you are like, wait, I thought, I am a protector. That is one of my gifts, and I'm very good at it. But every single one of us, in the human meat sack we're riding in right now, you have something that you have to accomplish. Whether it is dealing with the mother wound, whether it is dealing with issues, abilities, whether it is whatever it is that you're having to go through in this meat sack, you have to go through it. One of my absolute favorite sayings is the only way out is through. I like that the music got quiet when I said that. The only way out is through. If you try to skirt that issue, it doesn't mean that the issue is done, does it? It means the issue is still there. It doesn't mean that you can just continue to walk on and that issue fades away into the distance. It doesn't. That issue is still there. If you try to go over it or under it or around it or whatever, you just try to pretend it's not there, that issue doesn't go away. The only way out is straight through the middle. The only way out is through. If you fuck up, you have to own up to that fuck up. You have to fix it, correct? Some people, a lot of people, most people will try to just, oh, I didn't do that. They'll try to blame it on somebody else, throw somebody under the bus or whatever. Does that ever work out? No, it doesn't. Ever. The only way out is through. And I feel like you're going through a lot of that right now. Seeing the martyr card, seeing the Lilith card, etc. You feel like this is like if you were in like an MMORPG game, this is one of those righteous quests with the gold, the gold little exclamation point over the person's head. You get this crazy amount of loot at the end, right? But it's one of the hardest quests in the game. That's what you feel like you're doing right now. And I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to 100% agree with you. Once you decide, and it's your decision, when you're going to step fully into the middle of those thorns, into the middle of that crazy ass trauma, and you are going to slice through it with that energy I was talking about, with that machete, you're going to go through that so much faster. Right now, in trying to get through it without anything, you feel like you're scratching and crawling along just trying to get forward. My friend, you have the ability to slice through that like a knife through hot butter, like a knife through water. That trauma involves other people, and they're going to have to find their way through it as well. You can't bring them with you. You can't force them to heal. You cannot make them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't force them to heal. And you're going to have to realize that. Okay? You're going to have to realize that. It sucks. Let me just tell you from experience, it sucks. Because when you know that someone you care about has a lot of trauma and they're hurting, and you know that you can help them and they don't want that help, it sucks. It sucks. Part of the resilience card right here is that when you come out on the other side of this crazy big thorn bush, and you look back, you're going to see how resilient you actually are. You're going to see how far you have actually come. You're going to see, it's going to give you a huge ego boost. Like it really and truly is. It's going to give you a massive ego boost because you're going to go, holy shit, I just went through all of that. The martyr card. It's not the martyr aspect. I don't think that you're going to become a martyr. I don't think that there's shame involved with it. I think that when you come out on the other side, that's when you are going to be your honest, authentic self with you. Does that make sense? Because we have been taught our entire lives to kind of gloss over the truth, you know? Like, I'm a little chubby. Could I lose a little weight? Sure. But do I want to? No, because I look fabulous. You know, like, we're taught that kind of mindset. Yeah, we fucked up and yeah, we were really mean to that person, but they deserved it. When they really didn't. I was being a shitty person. Like, do you see what I mean? We're taught to gloss over that. So when you come out on the other side of this, you become a completely honest, transparent person. You become a very authentic person. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, when you hit this phase, people are going to love it and hate it at the same time. People love authenticity, but they hate honesty. They do. They hate honesty. So you're going to trigger things in people and they're going to instantly hate you, and you're not going to understand why. There are a lot of people that throughout my time, I'm just going to use myself as an example because I can only talk about me. Honestly, there are a lot of people on TikTok in the witchy community, especially, that absolutely hate me. I've never spoken to them. I don't know them. I've never watched any of their content or their videos, but they absolutely hate me. The only thing that I can think of is that there is something in me that pings something in them. You are going to have people that happens. You are going to have people that have never met you in person. They don't know you from Adam, whatever it is, that your authentic self, when you hit this phase, your authentic self is going to ping something in them and they're going to absolutely hate you. They're going to freak out. Thank you, Marco. So know that that's coming. When you hit your authentic self, your honest self, the universe will bring that restitution in. All of the things that you've been striving for and trying to get and so on are not really going to matter. You'll have a whole new set of goals and things that you want to accomplish. You will get your restitution from the universe. When you are your honest self, you are going to ping things in people that are not honest at all. I said what I said. Authenticity will always bring people to you that are trying to be their authentic selves or already are their authentic selves. Authenticity and honesty will always ping things in other people that are dishonest, that are not their authentic self, that are trying to be the fakest version of somebody else that there is. So when you have somebody that you don't know, you've never met them, they've never met you, that instantly hates you because you are your authentic self, then to be honest, I distance myself from that person immediately, and at the same time, I feel sorry for that person. And I hate that I have to feel like that for them, because the Capricorn parts of me wants to hate them right back. But it tells me that they're in a spot where they're not healed and they never will be healed until they let go of that. The Lilith is interesting at the end with the instinct, the animism, the hunger. I think that once you get past this big thorn bush that we were talking about, you're going to hit this instinctual aspect that you're going to rocket forward, Katie. All these people that dislike you right now, you're going to leave them in the dust so fast that they're not even going to be able to blink and figure out where you went. It's going to be insanity. It's going to be insanity. I think that you're on the exact right path that you need to be on, Katie. And it's hard. It is hard. It's the hard path. But that's the only way you learn. That's the only way you learn. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Our music got slow. All right. So that was Miss Katie on there. I am probably going to take a break for a little bit. I have a horrendous headache right now. Let me pull this up here. I have 20 of you guys on my list for today. We got it. This makes me feel like I'm in the movie Tombstone. Y'all all know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about. So Molly, okay, what? Linda. Molly is the first one on my list. So I'm going to take a break for about, it's 11:30 here. I'm going to go take a lot of ibuprofen and actually eat lunch. I've been trying to make myself eat lunch. Like, it's hard sometimes. Like, go eat lunch. I'm going to go eat a salad. I'll be back on about, I'm going to set it up for, my ex-husband is going to come pick my kid up here in a little bit, and they're very loud. So I'm going to set it up for about 2 o'clock my time. So 2 o'clock Central, I'll be back on, and we'll do all of these fantastic thingies. If you want to know if you're on the list today, I have Molly, Catherine, Amy, Tammy, Brett, Abigail, Joanne, Sammy, Christine M., Valerie, Joy, Rebecca, Tiffany, Jennifer S., Bobby. Why I felt the need to say Jennifer S. I don't know, because I don't see another Jennifer yet. Bobby, Carla, Jasmine, and Shannon. I got you. You got me. You're welcome. All right, I'm going to go take some ibuprofen. I'll be back on about 2 o'clock, and we'll get all of these fantastical things done for today. It'll be great. It'll be fun. It'll be fantastic. But I'm going to go eat. Y'all go eat too, okay?